What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another new deck featured on YGO Mega. Today I'm showing off Salamangreat, a former top tier contender in the game that hasn't changed too much in recent months. Despite the lack of any new things going for it, Salamangreat is a deck that I really enjoy playing with, for a reason that I can't explain clearly even if I'm not the best at the deck. Still, I do want to showcase some duels that were pretty cool. The list for the most part isn't too different from standard salad lists, a nice chunk of hand traps, parallel exceed, and your standard salad cards needed to get rolling. To compete with the meta, Flame Bufferlo has been the starter card of choice for its ability to get extra cards, which we want to be hand traps or the back row we need to set up for. Since there are times where you won't have a monster to discard with it, I run the one Lady Debug just in case we open Cynet Mining with one or no other cyber monster. Prohibit Snake is a very old tech for the deck, but it is a card I love, so I couldn't see myself not running it. Since Desires is needed and I am paranoid about banishing cards, I did bump up the Salamangreat trap count just in case. For the extra deck, Balelynx and Sunlight Wolf are mandatory at 3 copies as expected, and Update Jammer, Splash Mage, and Transcode are all essential for the Accesscode plays, which is the most preferred way of obtaining lethal after disrupting our opponent with our trap lineup. The one different thing I did try was Firewall Dragon now that it's off the ban list, but after a few games it didn't really pop for me, so I put Heat Leo back at 2 copies. Dugares was an amazing addition to the deck since you could draw and then go into Sunlight Wolf still, but the one mistake I did make was trying to do this while going second, since Transcode cannot use this effect if you try to summon something that isn't a Cyberse. There isn't much else to go over on the deck list though, and this is quite a popular deck that isn't too hard to pick up, I think. If you can see Parallel Exceed, your opening plays get a lot better as getting 2 additional materials can help immensely for either Update Jammer or an Exceed monster to disrupt the opponent. Abyss Dweller still hits a lot of decks in the meta, while Bagooska can shut a lot of monsters down if they aren't strictly used for link summons. While the hand traps can be personal preference, this deck appreciates Ash Blossom a lot more than most, since Sunlight Wolf can recycle it back to the hand, which can get pretty stupid in some situations. I do admire this deck because you do have to play carefully sometimes, whether it's due to managing resources or setting up the correct pieces for following turns. I'm sure I messed up a lot of these at times without seeing it the first time, but I did try my best to continue learning what I could day by day. Nibiru was an all-time favorite to get hit with, sadly, as this deck does use 5 summons pretty easily if you want to make a decent board going first. There isn't a clean way to avoid it unless you have Will of the Salamangreat and certain monsters in the grave to recover with, so you just gotta deal. For basic plays, you usually want to get things rolling with Balelynx and finding some kind of extender to go into Sunlight Wolf twice via the field spell. Gazelle is the most preferred method since you can send the salad traps to the graves and then recover it with Wolf, but sometimes you're not that lucky to get the limited card out of the deck, which is why you need Buffalo and Dugares sometimes. In the event that you are going second, Gazelle sending any other salad monster who can special summon itself from the grave is highly recommended since the Update Jammer OTK can only be made with non-link monsters. This also works if you open up enough traps and want to send extenders for later on anyway, if you go first. If you can disrupt your opponent heavily enough via hand traps or back row, you have a good chance of just going into Transcode, followed by Accesscode on the next turn who can nuke the field if your opponent has leftover things. The only tragedy with this is that Accesscode cannot end the duel by himself without that Update Jammer combo sometimes, so it is ideal to set up for this combo with the proper extenders in the grave. This replay doesn't really show a lot aside from one of the easiest OTKs you can get for the deck, but it is a great way to show how it operates going second. The following replays are a bit longer with some more critical decision making, so I'm going to sign off right here and hope that you guys enjoy those coming up. Lightning Overdrive is almost here, so expect to see some decks from that set, as Ancient Guardians really didn't impress me enough. As always, make sure to like the video, follow the Twitch channel, and check out some of the live streams we got going over on there on Sundays and Wednesdays. I'll catch you guys next time.